I invite you to consider that your experience of the world and the person that you appear to be inside of the world your experience of thoughts, feelings, emotions, sensations, that this is all a costume that you wear, which makes you appear to be this and that, but it has no reality. If we keep giving a sense of reality and truth to what appears, to the costume that we are wearing, then it will continue to appear to be real and solid and true. That is why we are coming together to stop misplacing our sense of reality or truth. So consider that all sense perceptions, all sensations, all thoughts, and this is really the entirety of your entire experience, that this is all a costume that you are learning to undress from. The you that is being spoken to is not the person that you take yourself to be, for that is also just comprised of sense perception, sensations, and thoughts. You, not the body. The body wears clothes, right? But you wear sense perceptions, sensations, thoughts. Right now, we're taking a moment to acknowledge all of these things, everything that is knowable to us, everything that we are aware of, as non essential to what I am. And we are undressing ourselves, our being, our emness, from all sense perceptions, sensations, thoughts. And you do that through a lack of concern, lack of interest in the costume. This costume, which you usually give so much purpose and meaning to, so much attention and interest to, constantly stimulated by it and giving it a sense of reality. Here and now, sever that association. that interest. Nothing that you are aware of, including the sound of my voice, including the sensations of your body, including the thoughts in the mind interpreting what is being said, none of these are real. They have no reality. Even the mental concern that arises on behalf of that statement and the self image that it seeks to protect, none of these things are real. They have no reality. The current sense perceptions that are appearing, the current sensations that are appearing, the current thoughts that are appearing, the current idea that you have of yourself that is appearing also as a thought, these momentarily appear to be real and alive and true, but they are a constantly passing show with no reality. Soon they will be replaced by other sense perceptions, sensations, and thoughts, which will all then at that moment appear to be real, but they are also equally unreal. They all borrow their temporary sense of realness, aliveness from you, from your beingness. That very aliveness that you feel at the core of your experience right now, that very realness that you feel in every experience. Notice that aliveness, notice that beingness, that presence. It is not attached to any sense perception, any thought, any sensation. Your beingness, your aliveness, which animates all of these sense perceptions, sensations, and thoughts and makes them appear to be real in this moment, itself is not appearing as anything in particular. You are not a thought. You are not a sensation. You are not a sense perception. You are not an idea that you have of yourself, of a face and a name and a form. You never appear as any of these. You simply are. You are that which knows their appearance and disappearance. The way that you begin to slip out of the conditioned belief about what you are, the way that you slip out of this costume that you're wearing is by letting go of being interested in the costume. Here and now, have no interest in any thought, have no interest in any sensation, have no interest in any sense perception. Be interested only in this very vivid sense of aliveness, this awareness, this beingness. Even the very thoughts trying to break this down and understand this have no interest in. You, that which knows the arising of those thoughts, are prior to those thoughts. If you keep being interested in the content of your thoughts, it will continue to become a costume that you compulsively continue to wear. And it will endlessly distort your understanding of yourself. Here and now, no matter what is arising in the mind, care not for what the mind says, be interested in the very knowing of it, in the presence which illuminates the thought. This splash of presence, which illuminates every experience that you're having, is the purest expression of the true, of the real inside of this experience where there's nothing that is true or real. The way that you slip out of giving unconsciously giving importance and reality to the untrue and start to discover and understand the true is by being more interested in the presence than you are in the sense perceptions, sensations, thoughts. Turn your gaze away from what you know to the very fact of knowing. Stop being endlessly preoccupied with the objects that you know, that you are aware of, and start to notice the very awareness in which they appear. When you stop being concerned with thoughts, when you stop being interested in the content of thoughts, what remains? The biggest obstacle to self knowledge and understanding is being lost in the concepts that the mind proposes, that thought proposes. For these concepts are so far removed from the truth of things, and they are themselves arising as thoughts, which themselves are so changeful and have no reality. How can we understand ourselves if we are constantly lost in a conceptual reality with convictions that are so untrue? This is what creates all suffering. This is why we come together to meditate. Meditation is the slipping out of conceptual reality and noticing, becoming aware of what is, not what appears, what is. Which is why here and in your even in your sit down practice, you have to really let go of believing what you believe to be true. You have to stop giving so much conviction to your ideas of who you are and what life is. You have to become empty of all ideas. And you just have to fall in love with this presence, which is at the heart of your experience. It is more intimate than your ideas. This presence is the bridge from the unreal to the real. Turn your gaze towards this presence. Look at it and see how you are also looking as it, from it. Don't associate this presence, don't attach it to any sense perception, any sensation. Don't attach it to the body. Don't attach it to the idea you have of your face, the idea you have of your name, of your personality. Don't attach it to any thought. Turn your gaze away from all thoughts to this very aliveness, this presence, this beingness. We are not being asked to think about presence. For thinking about presence It's just creating more ideas about presence. Thought can never touch presence. It can only talk about, create concepts about presence. Simply notice the presence which already is. From presence, you are able to see thoughts. When thoughts appear, just stop caring about them and instead notice the presence from where you are seeing the thoughts themselves. So that is the essence of our practice. Throughout the day, throughout the unfolding of your life, keep noticing how automatically, compulsively, unconsciously, we are so addicted to the stimulation of sense perception, sensations, and thoughts. We are addicted to that conceptual world where all of those things appear to be real. So, the shift that we are making now is that as you move through this, what appears to be this personal life of sense perception, sensations, and thoughts, rather than just constantly being preoccupied with these objects, you are now retracting your gaze, retracting your sense of truth, your sense of identity, your sense of reality away from these objects into its source, which is the awareness of them, the knowing of them. What we hear and now feel as self, the feeling of self, the sense of self. And the mind which resists this, that is afraid of this, that is concerned about this, that has doubts about this, is also seen. So instead of being so interested in those doubts, those concerns, those resistances, just recognize the awareness of them. And they will begin to wither away, melt away, and cease to be relevant. That is the way. Mm-hmm.